Welcome back to the road to 1000 ELO. This series has not been going to plan. I literally can't seem to win a game. However, a couple of things have changed since we started. First thing that's changed is we're not playing 10-minute rapids anymore. We're playing 30-minute rapids to give this stupid brain a little bit more time to try and work out the best tactics before I make a move. I've been watching some YouTube, couple of lessons here and there from a YouTuber called Chess Vibes. If you haven't seen him, I recommend you go and check him out. It's quality. He went through 10 simple rules today. And I've chose 2 of the rules that I'm going to take into this game right now. And basically, it's all to do with the knights. So it sounds simple, but the tactics are, I'm going to develop my pieces, all the basic, principles that you're supposed to stick to. However, what I'm going to do is tactically try and take his knight out of the game. And I'll show you what I mean as we go. So without further ado, let's get into this. 30-minute rapid fiat mode. Lovely. Okay. So, our opener is going to be based on him. Whatever he does. Because I feel like we've lost a couple of games. Okay. Right, you're targeting that. So far, his knights are not out. So, we're just going to continue to develop our pieces. And we're going to wait to see which knight he brings out. And okay, he's going for the quick finish me off. That would be checkmate. So we're going to stop it with the knight. And now what we're going to do is continue to develop our pieces, putting pressure on the queen with the added protection of our knight. His knight can't move. Obviously, he's going to want to get his queen out of the way. I feel like we've been playing people that are not that good. But because I've been trying to stick to principles that I've been watching, the higher rated players play, it's sort of like I'm getting beaten at randomness, if that makes sense. Oh, that's the excuse I'm going with anyway. Right, what's he done? Applied queen, pressure to the queen. He's got his queen out of the way. I think that was his main objective before thinking attack. So I'm going to leave my bishop here to prevent his knight from hopping in. However, the odds are he's probably going to push one of these 2 pawns to get rid of my knight. So before he does that, what can we do to apply pressure somewhere else? I'm thinking if we apply pressure on this bishop on c4, it sort of takes a tempo away from him from being able to develop, because if he does take our bishop, then I can take his. We both lose a bishop. So to do that, I think what I'm going to do is probably push this pawn. But saying that, then he'll just be able to take it. So I can't do that. Push. Take. Could do that, actually. Just do that. Take. So leave. Then I will obviously leave my bishop unguarded, but it's only for the time being, because currently there's no threats on it. So just for this, I've applied pressure to his bishop, on c4. So he's either got to take, which he can, in which case I will take, then he takes, and then I take. So I come out better there. So now I take again. He takes, I take. I'm also applying pressure on his queen right now. Okay, so now we've got two attackers, and he's also attacking my bishop. So I'm thinking, if I just drop my bishop, it adds a second attacker as well. Then if he takes, I take. He takes, I take. See, this is what I'm dealing with. I'm playing against people who are just farting around, not sticking to the principles. He's just tried to move me. You know what I'm saying? So now what's he going to do? Is he going to try and develop his pieces and start? Right, so now he's put me in check. Simplest way around this, I just push forwards, pressure, nice and easy. I could draw my pieces out. He's going to then move backwards, putting pressure again on my knight. Is there anything else I can do in the process? Maybe develop my pieces and continue that way while he's farting around, controlling more of the board. I think I'm going to do that. I could put him in check. Just throw a check in there. He might take with his queen. He might just quickly take with his queen, and then I take. But then he could just drop, and then I might just trade pieces anyway. I'm going to do that. Start taking pieces off the board. Hopefully he's stupid enough to just take. Oh no. So there we go. I'll just drop back. Continue. Now I'm sort of controlling a lot of the center, which I like. My pieces are out. He's still got 1, 2, 3 undeveloped. I've got 1, 2, 3 out. I could now bring my knight out. Get it involved. What have you done there? Not a lot. I'm just going to continue developing my pieces. Potentially castle. I'm probably going to castle after this, to be fair. And then it sort of eliminates this threat coming down. The A file. I'm still learning like the ABCDs, 1, 2, 3s. I'm very new. You know what I'm saying? Hence, all my videos say I suck. The big one! Harry Potter! Okay. Now I can sort of take his castle. King is just not really doing much. It'd be nice to try and make him have to move, maybe. Look at this. I could now jump in here, saying that he would still be able to take. Applying pressure. But now I can take with my queen, because he's blocked off the attack with his queen, putting him in check. I think I'm going to do that. Oh, hang on a minute. No, because then he could take me. Take. He takes. I take. Hopefully he's stupid enough to just try and take me. Knight, check. Not check, sorry. Pressure on his queen. Everything's sort of covered. Nice. I like. Hopefully he just takes. Bang! And the dirt is gone. Harry Potter. Ain't that stupid then? How can I continue this? So now, obviously, sorry, he's applying pressure to my knight. I do have, if I do move my knight, I do have my bishop on d6 still protecting. So my pawn on f4 is still protected, but he has got 2 attackers. I've currently got 2 defenders. But what else could I do? That's a hanging pawn. And it would put him in check, so he wouldn't be able to take. Do that, shall we? And then if I was to jump in and he takes, I take. Feisty one you are. Now that knight is pinned because of my bishop. So I could technically push my bishop 1, which is still protected by my knight. Potentially take out his rook. What else could I do? I could move this bishop to g4, applying pressure on his queen. Hopefully he takes, but I've also got my knight. I like the sound of that. Oh, I could even. Oh, I feel like I'm cooking up a storm. If I bring my queen to e1 before I do that move, it will put his king in check. So he will either have to move or block that off, allow me to take this queen. It's a bit of hope chess, I know, but we're going to go with that. I'll tell you what I will do. I'll push the queen up instead, because if I put the queen on e1 and he comes through with his bishop, I'll have to deal with that. Whereas if I put the queen on e2 and he does that with the bishop, it won't really matter. Let's hope he doesn't move that queen. Harry Potter. Like I say, the knight's not going anywhere because it's pinned. He might just do something stupid like try and apply pressure with his rook to my bishop. Hopefully he does. Obviously to try and get rid of that threat. Hopefully that's all the threat he's seeing. In which case it's bang, check, deal with. Yes, see, he's dealing with this. Now I push the bishop out. The queen puts him in check. He has to deal with that. He could deal with that by moving a knight, moving the queen, moving the knight, either way, or just moving the king. It don't really matter. Because that sucker's going. Unless there's something I haven't seen. And then hopefully that'll be a nice little resignation from this full... I'm due a win. I'm not going to lie. I'm due a win. Overdue. Like a synagogue roof. They're Ricky Gervais lyrics, by the way. From the movie. What was the movie called? On the Road? Something like that. What are you going to do with that chimney on you? He's realising it's kicking in. It's starting to kick in. Boom! And the dirt is gone. Dirt is gone. Harry Potter. Okay. And unfortunately, we're going to have to leave it there for this episode because I just jumped in here rapido, but I've got stuff to do. But I'm happy with that win, you know. Do you know what? Because it's the first game of the day. We might be able to get a little review in here. How did we do? 84.9%. Game rating 1,350. Okay, we had a middle game. Cool.
You captured that free pawn.
I don't know why that was a great move, but it was. But yeah, I feel like I played that pretty well.
You win material through a discovered check.
A planned discovered check, may I add. Okay. So, the tactics, we didn't actually get to use them. Basically, what them tactics were going to be was something along the lines of this. Here's the knight, okay. So, imagine my knight was a pawn, for example. It's hard for me to really explain, but moral of the story, say my pawn was on d6, I would anticipate his knight is going to either like come in to e4, in which case I would push my pawn prior to that. Imagine like this pawn on c4 isn't there. So I would then be defending both these two squares with my pawn, basically stopping his knight from coming in. And they're the tactics that I wanted to play. And I was going to play, but we'll play them next time. It sounds basic, but apparently it's effective. And also, we're going to be looking to put our knights on outposts, squares, and keep them central, which I sort of done on this game. Look, I kept them central. This knight here was covering. Let's imagine the rest of the board is empty, and just picture these two knights. What are they covering? It's covering that square, that square, that square, that square, that square, that square, and that square. And this one's covering that square, that square, that square, that square, that square, that square, that square. You get the message. Look, all them red squares. So we're going to keep them central, outposts, and stop his knights from coming in. They're the tactics for the next game. Hope you've enjoyed this game. Do us a favour, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. This is the road to 1,000 elo. What are we on now before we leave, actually? How do we even check? Cancel that. We are now on 621. So we're moving up. We were on 500 and something last time. 621. Keep this positive. Keep these wins. Let's get to 1,000. See you on the next one.